Hello, everyone. This is Scott Hashay with the Network Marketing Mentors Show. And today we have a special guest, Joel Broughton, on the line here today. He's going to show us a little bit about how he used technology for his business. Now, Joel, he has been around the industry for quite some time. He's done a lot of work with corporate companies in consulting and technology. He's also held positions in some companies and made some very large salaries while doing it. He has used technology throughout all the years in many different systems that he's had. One of the systems even had over 240,000 people involved in it. So that's a lot of people that he's worked with in the technology field. And today he's going to share a little bit about how he used technology and autoresponders and the tools that you need to be successful with your business. Welcome to the call, Joel.
Thanks a lot, Scott. As you mentioned, we've had a lot of success over the years, and really, if you start looking at some of those bigger numbers that we've put into not only companies but systems, and some of the lead generation things that I've done, it's all been because of the use of systems and the computer and autoresponders and the technology that can bring people in. You and I both know there's only so many phone calls you can make in a day. So really, I'm going to make the phone calls just the same as everybody else. It's just that I'm going to make sure that I kind of pre-qualify the people I talk to before I get on the phone with every single prospect or every single lead.
So what, in a sense, what type of technology would you use or would you recommend that our viewers would use in building that business out?
Well, the simplest thing really is to kind of look at the sales process as a whole to start and kind of determine, all right, where am I at? What is my system? How am I promoting my business? Mm-hmm. A lot of people, what they do is they kind of jump, as soon as they get involved in a new opportunity, or even if they've been in a company for a while, they kind of get re-energized or re-excited and think, I really want to get on the internet with my opportunity, or I want to start promoting it through a video or through this, or I heard somebody doing really well with YouTube. And the problem with that is they kind of are taking pieces of the puzzle and not really putting everything together. So I guess first, just determining what your sales process is and how you can insert technology. And one of the big pieces of the puzzle, I guess, for me has always been a simple autoresponder. Mm-hmm. Whether it be integrated with a full system that everybody can use, or whether it's just as a part of getting people to phone me or opting people in or generating leads. So if you kind of look at the sales process, it's been the same for the last 50 or 60 or 80 years. It's always been generate a lead, show the business to your prospect, enroll the prospect in your business, and get them to do the same. So that process really doesn't change, but I think we have to determine, based on our skills, abilities, and what our interests are, plus some of these technologies, where technology can help either speed up the process or help sort the prospects through the process. There's a lot of things technology can do and a lot of things it can't do. And technology, I think, placed in the right places in the sales process can really help, save us a lot of time, as well as speed our prospects through the process to a point where, they're a lot more excited about us and our opportunity, getting them to that position.
Okay, so in your opinion, how would you take that tool, the autoresponder, and actually put it to work? Like, I wanted to get our viewers to understand how that technology would actually benefit them in the long run.
Okay, again, when we kind of look at the sales process, we're gonna look and see where that fits in. Well, an autoresponder, number one, isn't going to enroll people. It's not going to close people. It's not going to generate you tons of money overnight, like a lot of people say. Especially if you're dealing with a traditional network marketing company, or if you're selling, traditional products and services. What an autoresponder really should be designed or used for is to help your prospects get to know you, like you, trust you a lot more. Plus, the other major thing that it does is it's kind of like that constant advertisement for you and your business and yourself. If you look at television as a good example, when you see something on TV continuously, you start to get that feeling like, hey, this is real. And hey, other people probably like this too. You almost get kind of that social confirmation that if I'm seeing it lots of other people are probably seeing it lots, so it must be real. So it must be, it must be important. And that's the same with, promoting our business. And that's why we say, you're not necessarily going to get your prospect on the first exposure. You're not going to necessarily get them on the first sales call. You may have to have multiple exposures before somebody enrolls in your business. But here's the problem. How many phone calls can you make to that person, you know what I mean, in a week or in a month? Because you've got so many other people to talk to as well. So, we're kind of fighting this fight where, well, I need to follow up with them because it's important that they hear from me again, that they trust me, that they gain a likeness to me. But also, I don't have enough time in the day because I have other new prospects that have opted in or that are calling me for information. So we kind of have this battle. So the autoresponder, what it really does is it takes the place of the constant communication, building trust, helping them get to know you a little better, helping them feel comfortable with you. So really, if you look at the sales process, the lead gets generated immediately. The autoresponder starts going out and providing them with information, support, help, an offering to call you, maybe some training tips, maybe some information about how to succeed or how to make money. Because again, you got to remember, these people are primarily coming to us saying, I want to make money from home. How do I do it? That's the primary motivation. They're not coming saying, oh, I'd like to buy XYZ product or XYZ service. They're saying, how do I make money, right? So starting to provide them that education, starting to provide them some information about that, and just them getting to know you as a person, getting them to know where you live. Well, not necessarily specific, but generally, do I live
not where you live?
I live in India. Do I live in Canada? Where, getting to start to feel more comfortable with you. And like I said, the multiple exposures, it does something really crazy, almost like it starts to make them feel like you're important, right? Because you're not phoning them, chasing them, but you're constantly in their inbox. And if they don't use an autoresponder or understand what it does or how it necessarily works, they'll feel like, wow, this person really has a successful business. They know what's going on. Really, maybe you only paid $20 or $30 or $40 a month for this technology, and you set it up once and it's working. But to that prospect, it's like, wow, like this is really cool. I want this. I want this in my life, in my business. This is really exciting. So just positioning that autoresponder to start immediately in the process, but it's got to go continuously until the point that person buys, right, or opts out. It's got to go basically forever is kind of what I tell people, because if you only send them one or two messages, you were kind of there, and then now they don't hear from you anymore. And the computer will work for you 24/7 every day, whenever you tell it to, whenever you set it up to. So it's not like you're, wasting time or money or energy sending those additional messages, which can help you in the sales process.
So what's a good interval to send these emails out in? Would you say that you want to send it out once a day, once every week, once a month, or is there a specific formula that you go with?
What I've always used is an initial barrage to get their attention, and then I kind of tailor it off. So for the first week or two, at least for the first 7 to 10 days, I do it every day. So when I initially set up my autoresponders, they're all 7 to 10 days every single day. And the reason why is because they're fresh in the process, they're excited, they want to buy, they're interested. I want to be in their inbox every single day that they're motivated to be looking and to be excited, and I want them phoning me. So and it's not all sales pitch, right? Some of it's, training. Some of it's just saying, hey, give me a call. I'm available today. Do you want to book an appointment? We should touch base, things like that. And we can get into more of, how to write the messages. But but for the first 7 to 10 days every day. Then what I do is I usually will go a week or two every 2 days, so every second day, and then I'll tailor it off every 3 to 4 days. And basically, I'll continuously send them a message for a year, 2 years, every 3 to 4 days. So twice a week, basically. If you're in their inbox regularly twice a week, that should be sufficient. Unless you have special offers, then you can kind of send a special message once in a while. But I found if I stay, because I've tested this, if I stay every day for like a month, they're like, okay, enough already. Like, yeah. All right, Joel, I got it. You're bugging me, right? But that initial kind of burst gets them really in tune with to look for the emails and to get excited about them, and then you start to tailor it off. So, after a week or two, then you go to two, every second day. A couple more weeks, then you go to basically twice a week, and that's enough to keep them. Keep your name in front of them. And sometimes that's all it is. I mean, when I first started online marketing, people thought that I was like the king of the world just because my name was always showing up in their inbox. Yeah. And at that time, I was having success, but nothing like compared to what I do now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they just had that impression that, wow, because his name constantly shows up in my inbox, he must be successful. And
it's got to be important.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that credibility to be able to enroll more, put more people in, get more trust from your prospects and bring more people into the business.
Excellent. So realistically, you want to be frequent but not annoying is what it comes down to. Yeah,
exactly. You want to be really frequent, especially at the start, but you don't want to stay every day, twice a day. It gets to be too much, right? And then they'll just opt out, and then you kind of burn the lead, right?
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people are asking. The main question is when you're actually writing these emails, what is the number one mistake you can actually make? Because there is things that you could do when creating emails that could actually turn people off.
I think, and this is funny. We were talking about this right before the call here. I think that, and this, by the way, this is the number one mistake I believe that people make in this industry, period. Never mind just in emails. But I think the number one mistake people make is that the focus is on the wrong person. So the focus is all about me and my business and my products and how wonderful my comp plan is and how you need to also love my comp plan and how you need to love my products and how we're going to make so much money together and how I'm so successful. And the common theme there is I, right? If you focus constantly on yourself, then the prospect is sitting there going, well, what about me? I'm the one here looking to how do I make money? Great, you're successful, and in the back of their head, they're sitting here going, great, you're successful, you have wonderful products, you got in at the right time, you have a wonderful comp plan, but what about me? So I think the focus really needs to be not only in your writing the emails, but also in your pitches or your sales pitches, or even your communicating with prospects on the phone. The word you, the word you needs to be the best and most frequently used word that you ever use. So you meaning the prospect, right? So I'm going to help you. Here's what you can do to make money. You know what I mean? So if you start looking through the way you pitch or the way you write or the way you talk to people, if you start replacing the I's with you's, you'll start to find the prospects will be more interested, because now we're talking about their favorite person, which is them, right?
Exactly.
They don't want to talk about me, which is my favorite person. They want to talk about them. So if all my conversation is about you, Scott, then you're going to be like, boy, I love Joel. He's great. I just love talking to him because we always talk about Scott. It's wonderful. It makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of a psychological thing with sales, but it's really simple to implement. You can go through all of your emails if you have a current autoresponder and just switch the focus from I to you. This is how I'm going to help you. This is what you're going to get. And really focus on what you're going to do for them or how they're going to make money. If you can focus that for your emails, for your pitches, for your conversations, boy, you'll see an overnight change in your closing, in your, people will like you more, people will trust you more. It's really kind of a, it's a simple concept, but yet people just don't want to do it because why? because they love talking about themselves.
Absolutely.
uh,
And who doesn't, right?
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if we can just switch that focus to the prospect, I guarantee the results will speak for themselves in a very, very short period of time.
Absolutely. I've seen it a million times where people end up writing all about their company and our product's so great and you know what, you have to join us and this is everything. But guess what? They see that a million times every day. And you know what? If they're in another opportunity, for example, and they're looking at yours, you know what? They think their product's great too. So it's you're just kind of throwing things back and forth at each other, and it really doesn't work. I love the fact that you focus on the prospect itself and what they care about and what they want. I think that's great information for our people here today. Now, Joel, if you had one major piece of advice to give the people watching here about getting their business started with technology, what would that be?
I guess the main thing is you just need to get started. You need to get it set up. So go out today, okay, when we're done this recording or this video here, when you're done watching this, and set up an autoresponder. So go purchase one, rent one. Basically you're going to pay 20, 30, 40 bucks a month or whatever for an autoresponder, and start writing some of your messages. Now, you got to remember too that you only have to write these messages once, right? So spend some time, focus on the prospect, focus on what what's in it for them. Use the word you a lot instead of talking about yourself, and get some messages written. Now, you don't have to write 365 messages, or you don't have to write 500 messages today. You just write a week's worth or write 2 weeks worth. Spend some time doing it, because you got to remember that you only do that activity once. You only have to actually do that once. And don't worry if you're not the best writer or whatever. Trust me, if you focus on the prospect, your messages will be read and your messages will be liked way more than the best scholar that writes the perfect messages, but he talks about himself. Okay. And then the key really after that is just start using it. Start filling up your autoresponder full of prospects, right? Start generating those leads. Start getting people into the process. And I'm not talking about, throw 20 or 30 people in and hopefully magically you'll generate all kinds of sales. I'm saying consistently have new people opting into your autoresponder every day, okay, on a regular basis. And the more you do that, what happens is it's kind of an automated sifting and sorting process, because you don't know who's going to be reading that message today. 80% of them might just delete it and never see it again, right? But the cool thing is 2 or 3 days later, there's another message going out to them, and they'll get it, and then some of them might read it that day. So you don't know who's going to read, when they're going to read, but that doesn't matter. The important thing is the more people you put in the front end of your funnel or your autoresponder, the more people you get in there, the more eventually will read your messages, will trust you, will like you, will think, wow, this guy's a big deal. I see him every day in my email, or every few days in my email. He must be a really big deal. I'm going to phone him. I'm going to call him. I'm going to ask him or her about their business and how they can help me. And that's really how you're going to have success with the technology. Just set it up, start writing some messages, add a few every day so that the length of your messages gets longer, right? The time frame that they go out, so it might be a week off the start, and then you get it up to a month, and then 2 months, 3 months. Eventually you've got a huge amount of messages, and then just get lots and lots of people in there. Okay, just on a continuous basis, just keep filling people into your autoresponder. And that's the only way to use the technology properly, is to let it automatically sift and sort a large number of prospects for you. Build that trust. I mean, it's the same way the cable company does it, right? They splash advertising messages out to 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 people, and some of them want to purchase. The advertising on TV doesn't go out to 3 homes and then hopefully somebody will buy. It goes out to hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
Yep.
And that's why they pay big bucks to get on the TV, right? So the same thing here. Your autoresponder messages need to go out to hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people, and you're going to have more sales than you can handle.
Absolutely. Great advice, Joel. Thank you so much for joining us here on today's call. It was great advice on how to use the technology to help leverage your business, because you can't be everywhere at once, right? So why not put a piece of technology in place that will automatically act as a duplication of you over time and let the computers help you do the work?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Scott.
All right, thanks for being on the call. And if you like what you see here today, please join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, as well as we also have a podcast. We are doing this every week. We're going to have different leaders talking about different topics, everything from how you can make money to using technology. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on today's show.